Good morning, welcome back, and thank you for staying with us on the Breakfast Show on Bright Television Channel 102, the home of talk and entertainment. If you're joining us now, you're in luck because we're about to begin our conversation this morning. Our guest is already seated with us in the studio, and it promises to be an interesting and informative session. Now, on the 22nd of April 2022, or every year, the world celebrates World Earth Day, and the theme for this year is to invest in our planet. Now, Earth Day is observed on April 22nd, and the day aims to spread awareness about issues including population, deforestation, and global warming. Now, guest this morning is the CEO and founder of Eco Clean Active Initiative, and he's also a climate activist. His name is Mr. Goodness Dixon. I apologize for that, Mr. Goodness Dixon. Good to have you in the studio this morning.
Thank you very much for having me this morning.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me this morning.
Now, our topic today, obviously, is World Earth Day, and we're going to breaking it down into understanding the environmental challenges Nigeria faces. Now, before we get into this, you have been described as a climate activist, and I would love for you to just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, thank you for having me this morning. My name is Goodness Dixon. I'm the founder and CEO of Eco Clean Active Initiative in Nigeria, and we address the issues of environmental challenges. And I was trained by former US Vice President Al Gore, and I'm a climate leader. And also I have mentored climate leaders. And currently I am the coordinator of Rise Up Movement, founded by Vanessa Nakate, and she is a very popular activist across Africa. And so I am the coordinator here in Nigeria, and I'm privileged to be an alumni of Oxford Climate Society. So, and I'm a graduate from the prestigious Modibo Adama University, Yola, with BTech in Information Technology. Thank you for having me this morning.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Thank you very much.
So straight into our conversation for this morning, I'm going to ask the first question. Now, part of the dream for World Earth Day is to reach net zero greenhouse gas emissions by mid-century to keep the global temperature below 1.5 degrees Celsius. Now, how can Nigeria contribute to this goal?
When you talk about the net zero, let's get to understand what is the net zero. Net zero is trying to cut down or trying to reduce the carbon emission into our environment. So currently, we have a lot of carbon issues in our environment. Here in Nigeria, looking at the emission from cars alone, it's very alarming. Imagine that a car produces about 4.2 tons of carbon every year. So then, when we have populations like here in Abuja and then in Lagos, we tend to produce more of this carbon oxide to our environment. So the issue of the greenhouse is trying to cut down the greenhouse substance from our environment. So far, Nigeria has signed the Paris Agreement. That was in 2015. That's the SDG, and one of it is to address the issue of climate change. And last year, during the COP26, the President of Nigeria pledged to cut down greenhouse gas, meaning that he want to reduce this by 20% by 2030. So that's one part of it. Pledging it's a part, but action it's another part of it. So matching words with action will really go a long way in addressing this issue. Secondly is that we need to plant trees. When you plant trees, you will have the oxygen, and that will reduce the carbon in our environment. And we need to also work on our carbon footprint. And I believe that with this, we can be able to address the issue of the greenhouse gas. Thank you.
Thank you
You
very
have
much.
answered our second question already.
Yeah.
We're talking about the carbon footprint. So planting trees is one of the solutions. Trees take in carbon dioxide and bring out oxygen. I think we all learned this when we were in secondary school.
Yeah.
And it's really important that we remember this and remember to plant more trees for our own safety. You also mentioned something about the president promising to do something about the greenhouse gas emissions come 2030.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, by the end of 2023, he will no longer be the president of Nigeria. And we're hoping that whoever now comes to the table should bring this as a matter of discussion, because this cannot just be left unattended to. It's quite popular in the political scene. People come and make promises, talk about what they'll do and all of that, and they end up not delivering on these said promises. So based on what you have said now, we as Nigerians are hoping that by 2023, whoever takes over the mantle as the president provides the actions to match the words. Do not just neglect the policies or the actions or whatever the past president said he would do. Act on some of those things, because this is quite important to us as Nigerians especially, because we've had increase in air pollution because of carbon dioxide. Even the ozone layer, we're experiencing so much heat in Abuja right now, even though it's rainy season, because of some of these things. So thank you for answering our first and second question. I think she'll give you the third question
Yeah,
now.
the third question that we have for you is plastic pollution is one of the most important environmental problems that we face in Nigeria today. So it impacts the environment and our health and well-being. So how much does this pollution affect us?
Thank you very much. Plastic pollution, takes about 20 to 500 years before it decays. And you know what that means? That means we have these plastics in our environment, causing problem to us, causing health challenge to us. And now these plastics, how do we address this issue? Because it's a very big challenge to us. Imagine when you have these plastics in our drainage system. When the rain comes, there's no path for it to pass through. So that means we'll have floodings in our environment, in our homes, and people will be displaced. You understand? And that means the first is that we'll have floodings. The second is that these plastics get to the river, to the river side, and then this will get to the fish, the marine, yes. So this will affect the marine system, and trust me, we eat from this marine system. That is the fish, and then the rest, and even the snails too. They also feed from this. So this is a very big challenge to us and to our environment. And when these plastics is being decayed, it goes down to our health, meaning that once something tries to decay, gets to the environment and then affects our health. So that's a very big challenge for us.
So what are the solutions?
Currently, we have youth who are carrying out solutions, who have solutions, but they have limited support. Like that of these plastics now, it can be recycled. Like these ties, these interlocking ties.
Yes.
I have seen, good number of young people who have developed this, but they don't have the finance, they don't have the means to make it in a very big way.
Large scale.
Yeah. So these plastics needs to be recycled, and I believe that will address the issue. And then we should have this policy, this law that bans the use of single use of plastic. When I went to the UK, I saw a practical example about that. When you get to the store to pick up something, if you request for a plastic bag, you have to pay extra, and you even pay more than what you buy. So when you have this, it will reduce
the usage of
the
plastic bags.
usage of plastic bags in our environment.
That's really wonderful, and that's quite important. I don't think Nigeria has actually adopted policies where they have recycle bins for different things on our streets and all. We just see the regular green recycle bin for everything. You just come dump all your dirt inside that bin and then you dispose of it or you burn them, which is also quite harmful and increases the carbon emissions that we talked about earlier. Now, the last question I have here is, to protect our planet and prevent conflict, we need those in power to urgently swap out dirt energy and invest in renewable energy. Now, renewable energy is something that Nigerians have not really talked about, and I'm hoping that you can help us shed some light and understand renewable energy this morning.
Yeah, you know, these are energies that can be renewed, can be reused. I saw a report about a young guy in Borno, about 29 years old. This guy does what? This guy produced electric car, and the government has decided to invest in him.
Wow.
So that means that through this car, we are going to cut down 4.2 tons of carbon dioxide to our environment. So we need to invest in renewable energy. One, we have solar energy, we have the solar energy, we have the biomass, we have the wind energy, we have the hydrogen energy, and all these energies can be renewed. Imagine where you burn fossil fuels. These fossil fuels has serious impact to our environment.
Yes.
You understand? But when you use, okay, let me say you have a phone now, you have used the phone, let me say you plug the phone, you have used the phone, you can still recharge it, meaning that the cost of you going to buy a new phone is not there. So you have cut down the cost, understand? So it's also the same thing with the renewable energy.
Wonderful, wonderful, sir. Thank you for this wonderful explanations already and this wonderful insight that you have been able to provide on some of these issues. I know a lot of us are concerned about the earth. I know a lot of people try not to litter, try to dispose of their garbage properly, try not to burn garbage and all of that because it has been quite harmful. And also there's the problem of open defecation and how it affects our marine system and all of that, and also our health as well. But thank you for doing this already. Now I'm going to ask you one last question, and this is probably about most of the work that you have done. So please tell us a little bit about some of the work that Eco Clean initiative has actually done, and how we can be part of the movement to protect our earth and invest in our future, because that's the theme for this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. We started this movement in Yola, that's Adamawa State, in 2019. I was in my final year, and then I saw the issue of waste pollution in the place where I schooled. And then I thought, we have young people, and these people are learned. They are people who have, who have the knowledge, who have the skills, and we're having this waste problem here in our environment. What can we do to solve this problem? And that was how I started the whole movement about trying to address the issue of waste management. And then the first thing I did was that I took a picture of this waste, then put it online, and then within 1 month, those garbage was cleared from the streets. And then I felt, since I can do this, and then the government responds swiftly to it, then we can also do others. And that was why I called some young people for us to carry out some projects. The first one that I did was in my campus, and I brought these young people together to create awareness about the issue in our environment. And after which we had cleanup activity where we went around the school, gathered all these plastics, gathered the waste, and then so that's really passed the message across to the people. Then the second project we did was that we went to a school to also sensitize them about the issue of this waste problem, and that really, creates awareness in them, because not just telling them, but we had the practical, work about it, where we got the waste bin, we got other things, and then we launched out, and immediately we cleared the streets, we cleared the place, and then that was how we addressed that issue. We have gone to the market area to also create the awareness, and the first award we got was in 2019, and that was with Union Bank, where we were awarded as one of the best NGO in Adamawa State, and that was barely 1 month, and that money was used to carry out more projects. We have had projects in IDP camps during the COVID. We went there, carry out a campaign. We told them about they need to clean their environment, or wash their hands, and then get the place clean, and that really passed a strong message across. Currently, we have a project ongoing here in Nigeria. The first one we did was in Niger State. That was in February, and the project is called Climate Action Activation. So it's like trying to create awareness about the climate change and how to address the issue of the climate. And then the second one we did was in March. That was in Nasarawa State, and we also did the same thing, and it was in a school, because we believe that these are people who can reach out to their homes, to their communities, and then pass this message across. So we hope that when we get support, when we get fundings, we can carry out more projects across Nigeria.
Hopefully, well-meaning Nigerians who are listening to our conversation today will try to be part of your program to help make their environments better and invest in their futures. Like you mentioned, one of the things that you could start to do to be part of this movement is to clean your immediate surroundings, clean your houses, clean your office space, and sensitize people in markets close to you to clean up their environments. Because if you go to a local market and it's not clean, it's obvious that the food you eat will be contaminated, and this will damage your health. So please try to invest in your health, invest in yourself, clean up your community, clean up your neighborhood. We have a clip here from the UN, from WHO, and it will play while we sign off, just to give you guidance, to help you know and understand the importance of World Earth Day. Mr. Goodness, thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having me.
And I also told our viewers earlier that you were going to be part of our Sip and Paint event, so we'll bring you on to update them about how that goes. We are going to clean up the environment, sip and paint and relax ourselves, because we're investing in our future. We need to have time. Thank you so much. We need to have time to relax, live the lives that we intend to live. If your environment is not clean, you cannot live the life that you intend to live for yourself. So it's important to make sure that you clean up your environment, clean up your surroundings, so that you invest in your future. My name is Balogun Anthony, and with me today is still Toby Godsway.
Yeah, Toby Godsway. Thank you so much for joining us on the show, and make sure you do not pollute the air. Have a clean environment.
Have a wonderful Tuesday.
Photo or short video. To preserve the prospect of such a future, we need urgent action now. Can we, the people, take the lead?
Time is running out. We cannot wait any longer.
Can we be the ones to help solve the climate crisis? We need ideas.
Mobilization.
Action. Lots of actions.
Inspiring actions everywhere.
The sparks that ignite. The wake-up of the collective.
Unstoppable.
History proves our power when we rise together.
What steps are you taking?
What change have you inspired?
Share your action in a single photo or short video.
I expose strike for climate every Friday.
Through the Agora Awards